price reductions are getting bad. Back in August, Redfin found that 1 in 6 homes on the market had a price reduction, and that was a record at the time. Now in October, it's getting even worse. Nearly half the amount of listings on the market have had at least one price reduction. So this isn't an isolated incident anymore. Price reductions are spreading fast. So in this video, we'll cover which areas nationally are getting hit hardest, how deep these cuts are, and just what the situation is in San Diego. Is it as bad nationally as it is in San Diego? Which types of homes are most affected? And make sure you stick around to the end because I'll give you 3 strategies so that you can stay ahead of these price cuts. And let's just get started. From Redfin News, there's a recent article that says home sellers are cutting prices at a record rate to lure skittish buyers. So it starts the article here, 1 in every 6, 16.7% of U.S. home sellers dropped their asking price in August. And that's up from 15.9% the year earlier. And this is the highest share for records dating back to 2012, except for the previous 2 months in June and July. So in June of July of this year, price drops actually hit 16.8% in June and 17.4% in July. So normally what happens is price drops go down there in the summer. There's more demand, there's more buyers out there ready to purchase a home. And as it says, note the share of listings with price drops typically declines in June, July to August because of seasonal patterns. So this is very unusual. And then you can see here in this graph, for the last few years before the pandemic, price drops were hovering around 10% of listings. So they did go up in 2018, 2020 to about 11 or 12%, as you can see here. But in the last few years, since 2022, price drops, price cuts have increased. So they have increased to around 16% during the highest point of the year. Now, this year, it's even gone even higher to close to 17% to when it hit 16.7% in August. But that was then in August, and October, things have changed. So from a recent article from Housing Wire, how much are sellers cutting home prices? 42% of listings nationwide show price reductions as fall mark studies. So what's happened in the last couple months is that home sellers that are on the market, nearly 1 for every 2 home sellers are cutting their price. I mean, that's nearly doubled of what it has been in the last few months in the summer. So this is a pretty clear sign that the market is shifting right under our feet. Hey, real quick, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Jade. I'm a local realtor here in San Diego, and I make weekly videos on the housing market and what's going on. And if you have any questions about your specific situation, if you're planning to purchase a property or sell your home, give me a call. My number is right here on the screen. I'd love to hear from you. Call or text me. And okay, let's get back to the episode. The article starts out, the fall housing market is sending a clear message that sellers are adjusting their expectation. The latest Housing Wire data shows that 42% of active single-family listings nationwide a price cut. And how deep is that price cut? Is it about 4% from the list price, showing that many sellers are trimming just enough to bring buyers back to the table without significantly resetting market values. So they are trimming around 4% off the list price, and it's nearly 50% of sellers, 42% right now. So that's a lot. And with these price cuts, how long is it taking for homes to come off the market? Well, it's taking a pretty long time. So days on market took slightly longer. In September, it increased to 70 days. The median days on market. So it says that right here, 70 days up from the low 60s a month earlier. And the average listing has reached 122 days, underscoring the gap between well-priced homes that move quickly and overpriced ones that stall until reductions are made. So it looks like it's pretty hard to sell your house unless it is priced at a competitive fair market price. Now, if it's priced high, you might be sitting on the market for 70 to 100 days. But this isn't only a pricing story, it's also about what types of homes are getting hit hardest. And normally, single family homes are the traditionally backbone of the housing market, and they are taking a dive as well. So, if we go back to the Redfin article that we started with, it says price drops are most common for single family homes. Single family home listings are driving the price drop trend. It says nearly 1 in 5, 18.3% of single family home listings had a price drop in August, compared with 12.8% of condo listings and 11.5% of townhouse home listings. So there are more price cuts in single family homes than condos or townhouses. And basically, what the numbers have been showing are that the days of bidding wars are long behind us. We're starting to see a slow correction, not a crash, but a normalization of home prices flattening, especially after the surge of home prices during the pandemic years. And so, what do things look like in San Diego? Let's just dive in. And just before we get into San Diego's numbers, just so that you know and have a context, out of the major metros across the nation, Denver has the highest number of home sellers that have dropped their price. So Denver has nearly 1/3 in August, which was 31%, dropped their home price. Whereas it was also followed by Indianapolis at 30%, and San Antonio at 28.5% of home sellers dropped their price in August. So going down from the article in Redfin, we'll see San Diego scrolling all the way down. So 22% of sellers in San Diego dropped their home price, and they dropped it by an average of 3.8% from the list price. So dropping 3.8% from the list price is right in line with national averages of 4%. So that means sellers that overshot the market do end up reducing. So either through an official price reduction or through concessions or negotiations during the escrow period. And with 22% of active listings reducing in San Diego, that is slightly higher than the average in August, which was 16.8%. And now in October, we are seeing even more listings trimming their price, especially between the $900 to $1.2 million range, which is usually the sweet spot for detached homes here in San Diego. So before we get into latest housing stats for San Diego, make sure you stick around for 3 strategies to help you sell your home if you are thinking of putting your property on the market in the next few months, or also what this also means if you are looking to purchase. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. From the Greater San Diego Association of Realtors, their latest report from September 2025. So if we look at pending sales has gone up just a little bit to all properties, 2.1%. So there are 23,000 properties that went pending in September. So that's gone up 2% year on year. Single family homes, that has gone up 3.5%. That's gone pending. The number of pending condos and townhomes has gone down just a little bit, less than 1%, 0.4% to 8,122 condos and townhouses in September. So looking at median sales price, so I'm just going to punch this up, all properties. So the pending home price has gone up year on year 1.1%. So it is $900,000 right now for median home price across San Diego. Single family homes, that is at $1,050,000, and that price has gone up 1.6%, not a ton. And for condos and townhomes, that has actually gone down 0.3% year on year, and now it is priced at $670,000. So home prices are remaining pretty flat since last year. And if you're curious about your specific home, I've got a link in the description for an instant home valuation. So just check down below. And days on market, how long it's taking to go under contract in September, that's gone up too. So all properties in San Diego, it's taking 37 days. That is 23% longer than it was a year ago. And for single family homes, it's taking 36 days to go into contract, which is a 24% increase from last year. And condos, it's taking 40 days. So, which is a 33% increase from last year. So, what does all this information mean? It means that in San Diego, there is an imbalance, which is creating two totally different strategies for someone who's looking to purchase a property and someone who's looking to sell. So, looking into strategies for home sellers, and if you are planning to put your house on the market in the near future, I've got three strategies. So, number one is price to the market, not memory. So, what has been happening in the last few years, that has all changed. Buyers are seeing price cuts everywhere. So, if you launch too high, your listing is going to get stale pretty fast. And with homes taking about 35 to 40 days to go pending, once you hit that window, if it takes even longer, then buyers are going to think that there might be something wrong with your house or your property is just priced too high. So you might need to make an adjustment. Number two is to front load your leverage. So you have the most leverage once you hit the market. And so it's best to do a home inspection before you put your for sale sign out front. So you will know if there's any major issues, and then also do any small cosmetic fixes and declutter and depersonalize. That always helps when it comes to taking photographs or when visitors or buyers come walking through the front door. And nationwide, with 15% of deals falling through after inspections, the better your property looks up front, less chance there is for cancellation during escrow period. And number three is be strategic with concessions. So while you can do a price reduction, you could also offer a rate buy down or a closing cost credit. So that might incentivize buyers to make an offer. Now, on the flip side, buyers, you seem to have the upper hand right now. I've got three strategies for you as well. So, number one is look for homes with price cuts. If there was one price cut, there definitely seems to be more room for negotiation if the seller seems more inclined to sell. And if there's been two or three price cuts, or if it's come back onto the market, you know that homeowner is willing to negotiate and wants to sell. So keep an eye out for properties with price cuts. That's going to be the biggest sign for a motivated seller. Number two is be fully underwritten. There are some mortgage lenders, not all of them, but there are some that will fully underwrite you before you put in your offer. So your offer will stand out and be a lot stronger if it's already fully underwritten. And number three, if you are looking to purchase a home in the near future, know your micro market. A detached home is just over $1 million, but there are pockets throughout San Diego that median home prices are 10, 15% above that or below that. So work with someone who knows real-time data, not just last month's headlines. And to wrap up, what this all means, especially coming into the end of the year for the next 3 months. Here's where we stand is that nationally and here in San Diego, there doesn't seem to be a crash, but there does seem to be a correction into a normalized, more balanced market. Price cuts are spreading, days on market are getting longer, and sellers are adjusting to buyers' expectations. And in San Diego, there is some variation between different neighborhoods, but the same pattern is emerging. And if you're selling your home for the first price, stay flexible and be prepared to make a price adjustment, possibly 3 to 4%, or even more if you aren't getting very much interest at all. And a price reduction might mean the difference between for sale and sold. So the smartest move that you can make, whether you are looking to purchase or to sell, is to understand your local numbers. So if you need any help, give me a call. My number is right here on the screen. I would love to hear from you. And if you have any comments about today's episode or what you would like to see in the future, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to see it. And thanks for watching.